Welcome back. Welcome back to the Fan Wire Podcast. This is your host, Delano. We have more news to cover regarding this Kiyomi McMiller situation with Rutgers University. When things get messy, they can get messy. We just hope it don't get ugly. But things definitely got a little bit messy. Just a little bit. Well, just to bring everybody up to speed, Kiyomi McMiller is a phenomenal, outstanding guard. She is a freshman at Rutgers University. She is a hometown product of the DMV. That's DC, Maryland, and Virginia. For those that don't know, she is from Silver Spring, Maryland. So we definitely will be covering Kiyomi McMiller, even though she doesn't play for a local team like the University of Maryland, Maryland Terps, or one of the other colleges. We still will cover her because she is one of our own. With that being said, Kiyomi McMiller recently played Maryland University women's basketball team, and she didn't play the entire game. She wasn't hurt. She wasn't. She didn't have any illnesses that we knew of. However, she didn't play the majority of the second half, even though she had the most buckets. She was one of the only players that were able to effectively bring the ball up and create a shot or create shots for others. So it was a lot of people that were viewing the game, a lot of people in attendance of the game. The Fan Wire Podcast was in the building. We were there. We didn't see or have any idea why she didn't re-enter the game. But that's been covered many times. The next game was against USC, number four in the country. This was a great platform game to build on for Kiyomi McMiller, as well as the Rutgers Women's Basketball program. But things didn't go according to plan. Kiyomi McMiller did not play. And it wasn't clear what was the reason behind Kiyomi missing this game in such a high-profile game. Kiyomi McMiller was facing off against USC against Juju Watkins, arguably the best women's college basketball player in the country. But for reasons that we were not privy to at the time, she didn't play. So, it was many questions. What's going on? And on top of that, Kiyomi created her own narrative regarding the situation. Because before, Rutgers had an opportunity or a chance to relay that Kiyomi wouldn't be playing. Kiyomi took it upon herself. And she put out to the masses via her Instagram that she wasn't playing, and it wasn't due to anything regarding herself. And it was a coaching decision why she wouldn't be playing. So, of course, when we see that hours before the game, it's like, what is going on? The majority of her fans are like, what is going on? Rutgers fans are like, what is going on? However, we smelled smoke at the game because we were there. We couldn't figure out what was going on because she had 14 points in the first quarter, in the first half. She had 7 turnovers in the first half, but it wasn't enough, in my opinion, for her to miss the remainder of the game. Rutgers did not have. They were definitely down by several points at halftime. But Kiyomi McMiller came down the court, shot a 3 from the logo, splash right before the second half ended. So I'm not sure if there was issues regarding that or regarding her success, and the team may not be getting the same type of recognition that she's getting. But when you have a star athlete, that's going to happen. That's going to come. That's a part of the game. Teammates are not going to get the same shine as your star player. And that star player is Kiyomi McMiller. So with that being said, there were other things that came out this morning regarding the situation because it wasn't clear. There was a press conference after the game yesterday with USC, and that's another thing. They got their head bust. They got whooped without Kiyomi. They couldn't bring the ball to the court. They got beat by 50 points. 50. That's a lot. You might as well just pack up and go home. But, they continue to fight. That's a good thing. I'm glad he didn't give up. But they got embarrassed on national television. That doesn't look good for the program whatsoever. I understand the coach had to do what she had to do. But in the jump back to the press conference, Coach Williams stated that this issue that occurred will be handled internally. That's your normal, typical boilerplate coach terminology or points of reference, talking points when something happens. We're going to handle it internally, whatever it is. So, of course, with answers like that brings more questions and speculation. So, one of my questions would be, if I was there, is, okay, I respect that answer, but how long is this going to go on? How long is Kiyomi not going to be playing games? How long is this expected to go on? When is this going to end? And of course, that wasn't addressed. But according to an article that came out this morning around 8:00, it makes it a little bit more clear. So let's go ahead and get this up so that you all can see what I'm talking about. Okay. So NJ.com. I'm assuming that's NewJersey.com. This publication stated that an advisor for Kiyomi McMiller hints that a transfer is coming after a shocking suspension. So, Coach Williams didn't say that Kiyomi was suspended during the press conference. Didn't say it was a leave of absence or anything. But it's clear now. The Phenom was suspended. I think that team definitely should have the program should have made it clear what's going on. Because at this point, it's not looking good for any of the parties involved. It's not looking good for Kiyomi because of the way that she relayed the information to the masses, to the public. I think some of the wording could have been done a little bit different because in her initial address to the public or to her fans, she didn't say that, this is going out to the Rutgers fans and my fans, or just the Rutgers fans, period. She said just to her fans. That doesn't quite look good, right? But I understand what she was intending to do. She was intending to control the narrative. Because at the end of the day, the way that our world works and how we consume information, it's pretty much about who gets to it first. And that narrative will go around the world way faster than a clarification or the rebuttal. So I understand why Kiyomi got in front of this first, right? But we also have to realize that Kiyomi is the next thing coming. And Kiyomi was going against the current one coming. So all eyes was on that game. People made special arrangements to come to the game, like flying to the game. Yeah, people driving from other states to the game just so they can see Juju Watkins and to see what Kiyomi Miller were going to do when they went head to head. But, that didn't happen. I understand that the coach needs to discipline her players according to whatever the standards are for Rutgers Women's Basketball. I understand that Kiyomi can be here today and gone tomorrow, as in not necessarily her talent, but she can transfer. She can be gone. But the rest of those players had to still be there. So I understand that the coach has to set a precedence going forward, how this program is going to operate. I can see why she had to put her foot in for whatever happened. We don't know all the ins and outs, but we're going to shed a little bit more light on it in a few. But just to know that coach had to do that, I can understand why. Because the players that's coming after her or the players that are there that will still be there, they have to know where the line is drawn. And coach had to do what coach had to do. Could it have been communicated to the fans and the public better? Yeah, definitely. Could they have gotten in front of this a lot faster? Definitely. Because it appears from my vantage point, because we were at the game, that something happened during halftime. That was my whole initial thought process. Something happened during halftime. Don't know who was involved. This is just our thought process that night. We're sitting in the stands just talking about this, trying to figure out and rationalize what's going on. But to come out and find out today that she was suspended, the question is, was she suspended from the Merlin game? And then, everything just snowballed from there? Or did she get suspended after what occurred, what we're about to talk about? All right, so let's jump a little forward here. All right, So, according to this article written by Steve Pulte, this is provided to us by NJ Advanced Media. So I'm assuming that's New Jersey Advanced Media. An advisor for Rutgers freshman Kiyomi McMiller said they were very disappointed at the decision to suspend the former 5-star recruit. It was shocking, according to Leonard Ellerby. And that name might sound familiar if you're familiar with boxing. Leonard Ellerby is a part of Kiyomi McMiller's executive team. How many players do you know have an executive team? And as a freshman, you have to be top flight if you have an executive team. I'm sure that Fuji Watkins has an executive team. I'm sure that players like Caitlin Clark from last year had an executive team. When you're at a certain level, you're going to have people around you to make sure the train is running and the train is going down the track the right way. According to, let's double back to who Leonard Ellerby is. Leonard Ellerby is a veteran in the sports game, especially in the boxing. He's a former CEO of boxing legend Floyd Mayweather's promotional company. So he knows how to promote an individual. He's dealt with the top of the top of the top of sports when it comes to boxing, because everybody knows who Floyd Mayweather is, and he's a part of her executive team, and that shows that there are more individuals involved to make sure that this runs right. Kiyomi is the first high school player at the time when she was in high school, to sign with brand Jordan. All these Jumpmans and Jordans that everybody be rocking, is very few players, is very few athletes that can say that they were signed to brand Jordan. Many can say things about Nike and other sneaker organizations and companies, but you can't say that about brand Jordan. You can't. So the question is, where does everyone go from here? Where does the program go from here? Because it was embarrassing. I agree. I've said this. I agree. Even Leonard Ellerby said it. It was embarrassing for the program. This does not shine good on the program. This doesn't shine good on how you deal with star athletes. I'm pretty sure that Rutgers would want to have other 5-star recruits, 4-star recruits to come and play in their program. This doesn't shine well. This doesn't shine well for conflict resolution with regarding the team. According to the article, Leonard Ellerby didn't want to speak to the specifics of the reason why Kiyomi was suspended. But with people that have knowledge of the situation, they told NJ Advanced Media that the discipline came due to a locker room altercation with a teammate following a recent game. So, whatever occurred, it happened. It appears that it happened after the Maryland game. I wonder what led up to the situation with the Maryland game that led to the altercation at the end of the game. Maybe those details will come out in time, but this doesn't look good for the organization, for the program. It doesn't look good for Kiyomi. We don't know the details of what happened in the altercation. We don't know who started what, who did what. We don't know if it was physical. We don't know if it was verbal. We don't know. But these type of things lead to increased speculation. It leads to more conversation. It leads to all kinds of theories. But one theory that seems to be very, very clear regarding what's going on is the possibility that Kiyomi will be transferred. I really believe it's a strong likelihood that Kiyomi will be transferred. Now the question is, where? Also, what damage does this do to her reputation? How does this damage, or does this damage any future endorsement opportunities? Any future partnerships? How does this impact Kiyomi going forward? This could have been handled totally differently. This could have been handled way better. Nobody is blameless in this situation. Nobody. But, things are what they are at this point. It's just a matter of where they're going to go from here. What's next? What do you think is next? What do you think is next? Okay. Let's see here. Supreme Sean, I see your comments. Let's see here. Okay. Supreme Sean says that the reporters are all cowards for not asking the coach more pressing questions about the matter. She slithered her way out of that with the cowardly response about her ministry for kids. I agree that the reporters should have pressed the issue. They should have asked more engaging questions. They dropped the ball. I agree. Okay. How likely do you think that Kiyomi will transfer? Scale of 1 to 10? 20. Matter of fact, 100. I think she's out of it. I think she played her last game with Rutgers. That's what I think. I think it's done. Does she come back and play? Maybe. Anything is possible. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. All right, let's see what else you got for me. Kiyomi McMiller had a similar incident a few years back and transferred to Maryland. Now she's busting Rutgers. ASS. LOL. Yeah, that is true. Kiyomi McMiller averaged, I believe, 17 and a half points. And she got out of Dodge. She rolled out. She got out of there. She transferred to the home squad, the University of Maryland. And she definitely gave Rutgers that work on last Thursday. Yeah. So now the question is Kiyomi going? Is she next? I think so. I hope she go to Maryland. they have a lot of players that are getting ready to transition out of the program. Star players. So you have Shanae Sellers. She's primed to go to the WBA. I hope the Mystics pick her up because she is a bigger version of Paige. Pick her up. But we're going to talk about the Mystics a little later and their draft possibilities. But that's definitely should be a pick. Whether if they pick her at 6 or number 4, or if they trade back, acquire more trade assets or more draft picks, figure out a way to get her. Figure out a way. Because she's tough. But we're going to talk about Cheyenne Sellers a little later. Yeah, I just think it's a foregone conclusion. If there's smoke, there could be fire sometimes. And I think we all smell what's cooking. Kayleen got out of Dodge for whatever reason. We might investigate that a little further, depending on what else comes up. But there got to be a reason why your star players are rolling. I can understand somebody that's not getting enough burn, or they not feel like they feel like they not getting the right opportunity. Yeah, time for them. It might be time for them to find other opportunities. But yeah, it's wild that that's happening. Let's see what else you got for me. I talk too much. I didn't see the chat. My bad, player. I got you, my brother. But anyway, yeah. We gonna keep rapping. We gonna keep talking. We gonna keep this thing going. Kiyomi McMiller, she did well. Could she have been a little bit better with the turnovers? That could happen, definitely. But we'll see. We'll see how it go. I think that she's going to transfer. I think she's out of there. I think she's good to go to another situation. But we will have to see what comes up next. And also, my question is, what happened with this altercation? What's going on? There's more information to be told. Who started it? Who got it going? We'll see. And also regarding what Rutgers is going to do going forward. Without Kiyomi McMiller, they don't really have an opportunity to really be successful here. They only have one guard that have the skill set to bring the ball up the court. But if a team applies pressure, if a team attempts to trap, she's going to have to give her the ball. Then what? What's next? It looks like it's going to be a lot of more blowouts coming regarding this Rutgers program because they are playing even more top seeds. Just being in the Big Ten, you're going to be playing top teams regardless. It's going to happen regardless. So get ready. We'll see how it goes. On that note, that's it for today regarding the Kiyomi McMiller situation. And here at the FanWire Podcast, we look forward to you guys tuning in again. If we get some more news, we're going to jump right back on. We're going to give you what you need to know. And have a good one. Take it easy. Be safe. And don't forget to follow the channel, share the content, and like the video. Talk to y'all soon.